Corporate career responsibility is a call to all experts and consultants to give back their time, skills, knowledge, and expertise to mentor and nurture future industry leaders. Are you passionate in nurturing future industry leaders and professionals who will take enterprise to a higher level? Corporate Career Academy, together with Student TV, is giving you an opportunity to share your knowledge, skills, and mentor students and young professionals.
Ladies and gentlemen, scholars, students, parents, and all those who are watching us across the globe, welcome to our session of studying abroad. Today, we are having a session we are running with Uniserv to explore opportunities for students and for parents who are looking for online education. Today, we shall have a special feature looking at Europe and what are the opportunities in Europe. So Europe is one of the best study destinations, and the students need to understand about this. We'll be able to be taken through the opportunities, what makes it tick to many of those who have gone through them. Uniserv has done a lot of work with students who have gone into Europe and who have just come back and had good news about it. So today we are privileged to have Kate. Kate works with Uniserv Education. Uniserv Education is in East Africa and other 7 countries of the world. Helping students for the last very many years who want to go and study abroad. So Uniserv will be giving us a perspective. Kate from Uniserv will be giving us a perspective on Europe and the opportunities available. You are welcome to ask your questions on the chat, share your questions, mention where you are so that we can be able to just get back to you. Should you have a question for Kate, there's a form going around. Kindly feel free to fill. We'll also share our email address and the Uniserv email address. This is Corporate Career Academy, an academy that brings you professionals, experts to guide you in your journey of career and to ensure that you are set to do your career in the best country. Welcome, Eunice. This is Corporate Career Academy, and thank you for joining us today. Maybe you can start by introducing yourself, then we go to studying in Europe. I feel like boarding my plane now. Welcome, Eunice.
Thank you very much, Livingstone. So I'm here today to talk about Uniserv Education and also Europe in general. So basically, as Uniserv, what we do is we take students through the journey of application to universities abroad. We also do career guidance and career counseling for students who are a bit mixed up, who are not yet sure about which career path to follow, and we're looking also courses that are relevant 10 years to come. We also take you through the application process and university selection. So we choose a university according to your match or according to your preference. We take you through it. We make the application for you. We basically facilitate the whole process until the visa processing, just to make the whole process very easy for you. We are the biggest East African university agent, and we generally help you make everything easy. So if you have any questions for me, I'll be very glad to answer them. And I also have a presentation we'll go through together. So these are the universities we work with. We work with UK, we work with Germany, France, Spain, Ireland, Hungary, Switzerland, Netherlands, Sweden, and also Poland. So we'll go to the general country details so that you know the advantages of each and every country. But before that, I'll take you back to why study in Europe. So Europe has very many opportunities. So first of all, we'll talk about the affordability. It's very affordable, both tuition fee and living expenses. We're also talking about international accredited and recognized degrees. So you're not just going to study for the show. You want a degree that you'll be able to come back and work anywhere, not just in Kenya, also in the EU. You can also work while you're studying. So students generally are allowed to work as they study 20 hours per week and also 40 hours during holidays. There's also possibility of permanent residence. So this means after studying for a while, maybe 4 years or 2 years, students are also allowed, you can apply for the permanent residence thereafter. So this means majority of students, usually what happens is you're allowed to stay back in the country, maybe for 2 extra years or 1 extra years, depending on the country. And once you're able to get a job, you can apply for work permit, later on apply for a permanent residence. We also have, it's very easy to access other EU countries because the majority, maybe apart from the UK, the rest, and Switzerland, most of the countries are the Schengen area. So this means that a student, when you have a Schengen visa, you're able to travel to another Schengen country without maybe having to apply for another visa. There's also the experience with the European culture, which is very different maybe from ours. And just maybe to get exposure out there generally adds a lot of skills and experience. The courses that we send our students to usually are taught in English. And some few countries, for instance, like Ireland, it's an English-speaking country as well. And it's also an EU member. So there's no language barrier anyway. As long as you're going to the university, you know that the courses you're taught is 100% English taught. There's also on-campus or online blended learning options. Sometimes you feel that maybe your budget is not very high for you to be able to go and study on campus. Then that's where maybe you can choose to study online, or you can even do a blended program whereby now you can do like online a few years, then later on you can go and join in on campus. So also, after that, we have programs available. These are not all these, but not limited to this, because there are so many other courses. So there are possibilities for you to do business and economics programs, social sciences, technology, health, agriculture courses, arts, music and design, engineering, among others. There's also medicine. IT is also very big, computer engineering, computer science and IT is also very big in Europe, and especially a country like Germany and Ireland, which have become the IT hubs. These courses are very big. And generally when you're doing STEM programs, then STEM programs, that is science, technology, engineering and math, then that means more possibilities for you. I'll go on ahead and see the the countries in general. So first of all, we have Germany, and some of the advantages or benefits of studying in Germany is because it's one of the top study destinations in the world. We all know that Germany has the strongest economy in the EU, not just the EU, but it's really good. When we see and hear about cars, we know our minds clicks to Germany. You get 1.5 year post-graduation stay back option. So what this means is for every student who goes to study for like 4 years, they get extra 1 year. They're allowed to stay back in Germany for these extra years. And this is where now you find, you take this time to look for jobs. If you get a job, then you apply for a permanent, for a work permit. And once you get a work permit, there's possibility of you getting something called a blue card, which now allows you to apply for the permanent residence. Also, you have access to world-leading companies for employment. Here we are talking about big multinational companies, like Google and all that, they have their headquarters in Germany. And Germany right now is really growing. And Munich and Berlin, which is the capital city in Germany, have become like the international IT hubs. Also, affordable tuition fee. If you're comparing Germany with other countries, for instance, if you compare it to the USA, you find that tuition fee is a little bit lower. There's also high visa success rate. The visa success rate comes in about because we don't really need to show bank statements with a lot of money, as long as you've opened an account called a blocked account. So this blocked account, that is where you deposit your your living expenses, money for your living expenses, and this makes it very easy for us to go by with the visa. We assist you with this whole process so then that it makes it very smooth and very easy. Easy access to other European countries. If you're in Germany, maybe going to the next country like Switzerland, Spain, and others, it gets really easy. Students are also allowed to work as you're studying and up to 40 hours a week full time. But then when you're doing your classes, most of the hours, for instance, you're in class for 15 hours per week. So you're allowed to work 20 hours per week. During holidays, you can work 40 hours per week. And Germany is big in business. It's also very big in sports, engineering, IT, and also German language, because sometimes you find that the public universities only teach in German. So then students need to be versant with the German language. I'll go on next to France. France also offers the 1.5 year postgraduate stay back option, whereby now after you finish your studies, you can stay back in France, and it's the same drift. If you get a job, you can apply for work permit and later on a permanent residence. You also have access to world-leading companies for employment. Once you finish, there's Airbus, there's Total, there's Orange, there's L'Oreal, the fashion companies, and we all know France for fashion. Tuition fee is also affordable, maybe compared to other big countries. The visa success rate is high as well. Easy access to other European countries. You see the points are a little bit maybe closer to each other, because now if you can access Germany when you can access France when you're in Germany, and Germany in France, because of the Schengen visa and the Schengen agreement, So that is why it's easy for you to be able to access other different countries, which are the EU member. In France, also UK, you're allowed to work 20 hours per week and 40 hours during holidays. Education is of high quality, Young talent is really valued actually in France, and as I've mentioned before, these things of fashion and all that, it's really big in France because they've embraced talent, and especially for young students. The French lifestyle. Paris is the first student city, according to the QS rankings. Paris in itself, everybody hears Paris, everybody wants to travel to Paris. First of all, it's one of the biggest tourist cities, and it also has really good environment for studies and also for students. The courses that are available in France, business, I've really maybe talked about fashion a lot, hotel and tourism and hotel management as well. So on to the next country is Hungary. So it's the same drift. Even Hungary will give you 1.5 years post-graduation stay back option. The same drift. If you in this period of time you look for a job, you apply for a permanent for a work permit, and later on you can even apply for the permanent residence. Tuition fee in Hungary is very affordable, because even if we compare it to Germany and France, Hungary, you'll require a minimum budget of around 1.5 million, basically for tuition fee and living expenses, because living expenses, we're looking at about $6,500 US, tuition fee between 3,000, 4,000 US. And maybe if I can talk about medicine in this regard, because you find that medicine is a very expensive course wherever we go, whether be it in the UK, be it in Australia, US, it's even harder. You can't even get medicine at a graduate level. So Hungary offers medicine at a very affordable rate. And one of our very good university called University of Debrecen, which was founded in the 15s. So meaning that this university is already established, and especially in the medicine sector, because it's more of a medical university. So you find that there's very few countries you can get medicine at the rate Debrecen University gives. Tuition fee per year is usually $16,900. And where you compare it to maybe UK, you find that UK tuition fee, we're looking at about 3.5 million Kenyan shillings per year. If you go to the States, rather Australia, it's around 3.5 to 4 million Kenyan shillings per year. So you find that it's very affordable. And the best thing is you become licensed. Once you finish, it's a licensed program. You can practice medicine generally anywhere. If you want to come back to Kenya, as long as you meet the Kenyans' conditions, you can be able to practice it here. You can practice it in Hungary and even the other EU countries. So that is one of the strongest courses in Hungary. Continuing with high visa success rate, also because, working with Uniserv, we are well versed with every process and how it works. This is something that I've done in years. It's something I'm still continuing to do. And so I've mastered its art, and we know as Uniserv, we know what you need for every country just to ensure that your visa is successful. We also have easy access to other European countries. As I've said, if you have the Schengen visa, you can travel to Hungary, you can go to Germany, you can go to France and other countries. You're still also allowed to work as you study, generally maybe to generate some income to chip in for your living expenses. Because you see, and in some countries maybe that is not allowed, but most of these European countries, students are allowed to work. So the courses we have, Hungary is known, for agriculture, and especially, the capital city is Budapest. It's very big in agriculture. So agriculture, we have computer science and IT programs. We have legal science, business, medical and health sciences. I think I've touched a little bit of medicine. And students can also do nursing over there, dentistry, pharmacy. We have engineering, social sciences, even teacher training for people who want to do education, sports science, and all that. Yeah. So Hungary is also one of the very affordable options. Going on to ahead is Netherlands. Netherlands is one of the most developed countries as well, and there's very minimal rate of unemployment. So this is one of the countries that you go and you're assured also of the job prospects. So some of the reasons about why Netherlands, it has an international and multicultural environment. Cultures are different everywhere, but it has a very, the people themselves are very warm and welcoming. Same as other countries, you get 1.5 years post-graduation stay-back option. There's also possibility of permanent residence, innovative teaching. They really enhance, the same way as France, they enhance, or rather they love talent, and they really nurture people who are innovative. High visa success rate. The success rate for the visa is very high, and easy access to other European countries because of the Schengen visa. You can also work as you study, 40 hours per week and 20 hours, 40 hours per week during holidays, 20 hours during school classes. And the courses are taught in English. For all the countries I'm mentioning, the courses are generally taught in English. Courses that are available, we have business and economic sciences. We have social sciences, sports, engineering, arts and music. There's also architecture and engineering courses. On to the next slide. There's also study in Switzerland. Switzerland, first of all, has the strongest finance, like the banks, they have like some of the best banks. And some of the reasons why you'd study in Switzerland, it's because they offer top quality universities, and also the facilities in the universities are top notch, meaning that they've gotten there. Compact class sizes, meaning that the class sizes are smaller. And one of the advantages of maybe studying in a class that has smaller size, usually of people around 15 to 20 students, it means that you get that personalized attention from the tutors. So this one brings in about, like a smoother transition for the students. Sometimes students get the culture shock, but you're like, how am I going to, I'm going in a very different country. How am I going to get used to everything? But with these small class sizes, it means that students are given more attention, just to give them that smoother transition. Also renowned for hotel and tourism sector. Switzerland is very big, especially in terms of the tourism and hotel management, culinary arts, gastronomy. This is the place. If you're thinking about hotel and management, if you're thinking about culinary, if you're thinking about gastronomy, and also a few business courses, MBA, this is the place. The visa success rate for Switzerland is also very high. And you also are allowed to work as you study. We also have Sweden as an option. Some of the best, why would you want to study in Sweden? They also offer you the 1.5 year post-graduation stay back option. We have possibility of permanent residence. Tuition fee and living cost is also very affordable, because tuition fee, living expenses, you're talking about around 11,000 euros per year. And tuition fee generally will depend with the university, but we have universities from university that are quite are ranked quite high. The visa success rate is also very high, and as all the rest apart from Switzerland, you can use the Schengen visa to visit. Courses that are available in Sweden, we have business and economics, social sciences, sports, engineering, arts and health sciences, engineering sciences, among others. Spain is our next country. It also has quality education. Same with the rest of the countries, you have 1.5 years to stay back. Very affordable tuition fee, high success visa rate, easy access to other European countries. You're also allowed to work as you're studying 20 hours to 40 hours per week, and the programs are taught in English. They're also very big in fashion and design. And most of the people I know relate Spain with sports, there's football and all that. So they're also very big in terms of sports. If you want sports science, if you're looking at physiology, basically courses that are related with sports, they're very big in Spain. We also have, among others, computing, engineering, architecture, pharmaceutical sciences, among others. These are all the courses, not all the courses that we have, they're just some. But in every university, majority of university has more than these, and not even forgetting the master's programs. On to the next is Ireland. All the countries maybe we've been talking about, their national language is usually different, not English. For instance, Germany, they speak German, Netherlands speak Dutch, Hungary, Hungarian, Spain is Spanish, France, French. But Ireland, their national language is usually English, and that is one of the advantages because there's actually no language barrier. It's also an EU member, that's an advantage, an English-speaking country and an EU member. It has top-ranked universities worldwide. First of all, Ireland university or rather Ireland system of education is very similar to the UK system of education, meaning also that their system, the education is of quality. And we have some of the top universities in Ireland. You find that they even have a ranking of top 100. They are in the 2% top universities. The advantage also about Ireland is you get 2 years postgraduate stay back option. All the countries we've been talking about, it's been 1.5. But different from the rest, Ireland is 2 years. And it's the same. In these 2 years, once you finish your program, in these 2 years, you can apply for a job, you can look for a job, you can apply for a work permit, and later on, even a permanent residence. Master's programs in Ireland only go for 1 year. And if they go for 1 year, then you get the 2 extra years. So that is a really good advantage, because you find that majority of universities in other countries, and especially master's programs, go for 2 years. Bachelor's degree will also usually go for 4 years. I'd like to we have access to world leading companies for employment. The reason, first of all, Ireland is an English speaking country, meaning that majority of companies prefer to put up the headquarters in Ireland. So you find Google has a headquarters in Ireland, Microsoft, Dell, Apple, Amazon, Pfizer for pharmaceuticals, and many other companies. So then that means that even getting jobs in these companies is very easy. I've taken a student in Ireland in a city called Dublin, which is actually the capital city. And just within, even before finishing her course, she got a job in Facebook. So the best thing is that in Europe, they have an aging population, meaning that the population of the older people is more than the population of the younger people, meaning that they need young people, they need manpower to run their companies. And usually, most people, when they get to their 60s, they no longer have new ideas. They also no longer have energy maybe to push companies maybe to become productive and effective. So that is where you find that majority of students, when they go to study in Ireland, they get jobs immediately or even before they finish their courses. So that is one of very good advantage about Ireland. Also, this is one of the countries among many that will give you a job in your area of specialization. You find that in many countries, once a student has finished a course, maybe getting a job in the area of specialization becomes very difficult. They just want to do a course, then they continue, just so they get a work permit. However, in Ireland, you'll get a job in your area of specialization. They also have a list of they're called the critical skilled jobs. Those are jobs that if you do a course in these areas, you're guaranteed of a job immediately you finish your course. And I'm talking about the STEM subjects, anything to do with science, anything to do with technology, anything to do with engineering, anything to do with math, then you're actually guaranteed of a job. Also, business mixed with a little bit of IT becomes very big for you. In terms of affordability, tuition fee is very affordable. Also, the living expenses, because you're looking at living expenses of about 7,000 euros per year. 7,000 euros per year if you're living in other cities, but in Dublin, then that becomes $10,000 per year. Tuition fee for bachelor's degree, we're looking from around 9,000 euros per year, 9,000 to 15,000 euros per year. For master's program, 15,000. You can even get one for 12,000 euros per year. Basically, every university has its own amount of tuition fee, but just a general budget for everything with around 2 million Kenyan shillings to 2.5 million shillings will find a place for you. You also have easy access to other European countries. the same, if you have a Schengen visa, you can visit other neighboring countries. You're also allowed to work as you study 20 hours per week, 40 hours a week during holidays. And all programs here are English taught. The courses in Ireland are many, but among them is engineering, we have law, the business, fashion and design, sports, computing, which is very, very big in Ireland because Ireland in itself is called the IT hub. We also have engineering, we have architecture, we have pharmaceutical sciences, and many more. Yeah, so those are the countries we represent in Europe. So on to the next is the key entry requirements, So once you've come to us, the first thing is we ask, once you come to my desk, and now we are discussing which course you'd like to do, where you'd like to go, and we come into a consensus, you decide that this is the course that I want to take, this is the university that I've chosen. Now, okay, every university has its own entry requirements, and once we've gone through the whole process, we take you to the application process. With the application process, we need a few documents from you. So if it's students for a bachelor's degree, we just need your visa, not visa, sorry for that. We just need a passport and your academic qualification. So if it's 844 students, we need your KCSE certificate. If it's IG's student who do the British curriculum, we need your year 12 and your year 12 or year 13 certificate. So those will be enough for a bachelor's student who does not have any gaps. If a student has any gaps, then they have to show what they have been doing at this time. So if they've been working, they provide a work recommendation. If they've been studying something else, like computer or, ICDL, ACCA, or that, then they can provide that. But for master students, we need your passport, academic qualification, and that is the certificate and all transcripts for the 4 years or 3 years, depending on where you studied your degree. We'd also need 2 recommendation letters. One is usually academic, that is from the university that you're studying at, and the other one is work, to show that you've actually been, working or maybe if you've gone for an internship or an assignment. We also need an updated CV, for bachelor's degree, academic CV, but for master's students, you write generally everything in your resume. You'll also be required to write a motivation letter or a personal statement. So basically, this is an essay whereby now you're talking about what drove you towards this course? Why are you passionate about this particular program? You also need to explain why this country, why this particular university. So you generally, rather once we get information from us, you can also do a little bit of research of your own, know how it is in these countries, and know maybe you write the personal statement. You also mention about your studies, your education qualification. You talk about your work experience and a little bit about yourself, maybe your hobbies and what you like to do during your free time. Some universities will also require a passport size photo, English test, which is optional depending on which country you're going to. But for instance, for a country like Ireland, that it's usually compulsory for a student to do an English test. Then there's also the solvency letter of financial consent. So if you are being sponsored, maybe by your parents or maybe your uncle, your sister, then you need to provide, it's a bank statement of the financial consent, and just to say that there's somebody who will be paying for your fee. So that is just about the application. Now, once we've made the application, You've come here to the office. I've made the application for you. I've sent it to the university. The university responds with an offer letter. In majority or in most cases, the offer is usually conditional, meaning that they have few conditions that you have to fulfill for them to give you another letter. Some of these conditions are either you pay tuition fee, maybe advance payment, or maybe do an English test if you haven't done. But in most cases, it's usually the advanced tuition fee payment. So once you make payment for this fee, we send the receipt to the school, usually by bank transfer or flywire, transfer meet, depending on the university. We send this receipt to the school. Once the school receives it and they confirm that money has reflected on their end, we get an acceptance letter. This final acceptance letter is not what we'll use for the visa. It's more like a go ahead for you, to now begin with the visa process. After this letter, then we prepare the accommodation for you. We can do either on campus or off campus, depending on your preference. And usually, mostly for the master's students, they prefer off campus. Bachelor students, the first year is recommended, or usually students are usually recommended that they live in school, because most of the times are the times that they're not well versed with the environment. It's a new place, and also maybe to avoid culture shock, you live in school for 1 year, and now once you're well versed with the place and you've made a few friends, you can make arrangements and live off campus. Some universities and countries will also require medical reports, at that point, but majority is at the visa level, right? Now all that, you've gotten admission, we've got our acceptance letter. The next step is usually the visa. We take you through the whole process. Usually the listed is not, every person has a different case. Every person's case is very unique. So you find that maybe we'd require more documents. And also every country is very different. They do their visa very differently. Others do it online. Others you have to go for the interview. It all depends on the countries. However, maybe just the general things that you need for the visa. You'll need a valid passport, the East African passport, because the previous one right now you cannot travel with. We'd need bank statements from your sponsor. If your sponsor is your parent, if it's your sister, then you need to ask them maybe way ahead to print the bank statements for you. But also you'll need to prove the relationship between you and the person financing you. We'll need to show the letter of acceptance, which we get from the school. We need to show confirmation of tuition fee payment. And confirmation of tuition fee payment is, after you've made the payment, the bank gives you a letter. Medical report, academic qualification, those are your degree certificates and transcripts. Source of finance. So the person who's financing you also has to mention where the finance comes from, if they're employed or they're business persons. English language, I've mentioned it's not every country that will require an English test, but some would require. Letter of application, that is more like the personal statement, the essay we've talked about previously, but now during the visa, you also need to mention that, after I go to such and such a country, I'm just going there to get the skills, to get the relevant experience and come back to your own country. Well, we know that most of us want to go, stay back there, probably explore the options over there, explore opportunities over there. But in this letter, we have to specifically mention that you will come back so that the visa officer does not think, oh, this person now wants to come in and migrate and all that. So I think that will be it for me. But if you have any questions, kindly feel free to ask me.
Wow, thank you very much, Kate. This was wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, well detailed for students, for parents, and for those who want to do undergraduate, master's, PhD. All of them are welcome. So before we go to the next session, the next session will be questions. I have some few questions from Dominic. I want to give a shout out to those who have joined us this afternoon so that we recognize their presence. Mboru Maina, welcome. Thank you for joining. Brian Arua, thank you for joining. We'll be able to answer your question. Jackie Njogu, welcome to the session and thank you for joining. Kiki Official, thank you for joining. Mohamed Abdi, Catholic University of East Africa, thank you very much. Paul Mburu, thank you for joining us the discussion. We also want to appreciate Amaganga Mustafa Munubi, thank you for joining and welcome. Simba, welcome to the program. Dominic, Kisi University, welcome and thank you for joining the discussion. Joseph Karaoke, Joy Candy, thank you very much. We'll also answer your question after this. So I'll be mentioning them as we move on. But before we go to the next questions, now I'll ask each one to write their question. I want to go to what our parents saying concerning Uniserv and probably hear what are they saying? Is it adding any value? So we have a testimony from a parent.
Just a minute. Salim Amin, chairman of Camerapics. Both my girls are at university and they've been with Uniserv right from the very beginning and have had wonderful experiences in terms of getting all the paperwork and getting all the information, visa information and everything else done properly. It's the forms and the information required is so vast that it's kind of overwhelming as a parent to try and get everything together, and Uniserv seems to, really fill that void and help us to get all our documentation together and be in a position to be able to go to the embassies with all the right documentation, not have to go back and forth numerous times, coordinate with the universities, advise on the universities and the best places to go based on the children's grades. So all of these have been really useful things for us, a one-stop shop to be able to find the best university for that suits our child.
Thank you very much. Kate, the first question, you mentioned your services are absolutely free. Kenyans are not used
Very
for free fee. Explain that in English.
I know they're not, but it's very true. So we do the whole process free of charge. We do not charge our students anything. All right. The only things they pay is the fee and their living expenses. But for any services, be it the application, be it the counselling, be it the visa process, they're all free of charge.
Wow, thank you very much. I've shared the form for those who are interested to learn more about Uniserv. You can fill the form and feel free to contact Kate and the team of more than 40 counselors in that office. So the other question is now, let me just go to the questions asked in the chat here. There's a question from, I think Dominic. Dominic is saying, I think this question, I read it in low tones. European countries have stringent, just read it. Maybe you can read it.
So European countries have stringent legal obligations and have been associated with racism. This brought together discourages students from other parts. How will you respond to this? So, to be honest, Europe has really opened up. And for instance, if you're looking at a country like Ireland, to be honest, and 100%, there is almost zero racism. Understand? The people there are very warm, they're very welcoming. I know most people maybe talk about Germany, Germany is really associated by many people with racism. But then again, it's really grown. And if you're studying in a city like Berlin, right now they're used to seeing different races. They've seen, so many Kenyans and Africans have gotten, most of them go get married there. They get families there. We have big cities also like Munich, so they've really grown. They've really embraced other cultures. So right now, it's not outright. Maybe I can't say it's zero, maybe in Germany and a few other countries, but it's not very rampant, It's not as huge as maybe those days it used to be. People are being people are growing, people are becoming different by day. They've traveled, they're seeing other people, it's not like those days whereby the whites just lived as whites and blacks maybe in their own country, in Africa rather. We've mixed, and we've also had mixed races and all that, and this has really reduced cases of racism.
Wow. So, Dominic, you should not be afraid. The world is out there
No
for
one
you.
should be afraid. It's opened
Yes.
up. Everyone is going everywhere.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Joseph is asking, you can see his question.
Yes. So how long does the English test take? So this will depend which English test you're taking. We have different ones. There's the IELTS, countries that will require you to do the IELTS. There's PTE. A few European countries will ask for an English test called Duolingo. So IELTS is done in 2 sessions, 3 hours. PTE, 3 hours. Duolingo is 1 hour. Yeah, and all of them are valid for an year. IELTS is valid for 2 years. The rest are valid for Duolingo is valid for 1 year.
Wow. Thank you very much, Kate. Joy Kent is asking.
Yeah, will you need to do more exams like the ACTs and ACTs? So Europe, ACTs is an American system. An American system, so you don't really need the ACTs or ACTs.
Okay, then there's one more question I saw.
Yes,
just a minute. Meanwhile, thank you very much, Mburu Maina, for appreciating our meeting today, our discussion, and thank you for tuning in. Amaganga is saying good job. Thank you very much for tuning in too. There's a question, I have an offline one. This Kate, I was sent through text message. And James is asking, I scored a pass. Can I get an opportunity to study out of the country in the European?
Can they get what?
An opportunity to study in any of the universities with a pass.
Yes, the thing is, the system has been put in place very well, such that if a student does not meet the entry requirements to go directly into year 1, they do a foundation year, whereby now they do extra courses just maybe to make their grades better, or rather maybe then after that they go directly into year 1. So whether a student has a pass, a student has excellent grades, we are a place whereby we embrace everyone and we show every person the right way. We are open to everyone. We'll always have a place for everyone.
So Amani from Mombasa, saying she's tuned in from Mombasa. Amani is asking, she knows you do other tests other than the other tests you do. Maybe you can mention the other tests you do at Uniserv for her information, and probably where she can locate the office in Mombasa.
All right. The tests we do, every course has its own requirements, but generally English is the major course. Very few countries, maybe the rest of the countries like US and maybe Canada, for the master's program would require tests like the GMAT or GRE. Apart from that, it's just English test. Mombasa, they can locate us at Nyali Road, Texas Building, 4th floor.
Wow, thank you very much. Hesbon is joining, is also watching. Hesbon, thank you very much. Kate has done a good job, thank you. So there's a question from MCA. I don't know if it's MCA or it's the normal MCA. James is saying, maybe you could answer this question from James.
Yeah. So he's asking if in any case I would like to get a scholarship, can I get a chance as a diploma student? Now, most scholarships are given for bachelor's students and master's students. So not unless you have completed your diploma and now you want to do your bachelor's, then maybe just straight to a diploma will be a bit difficult.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Jafet Laboso, there's a question from Jafet.
Yes. So are there scholarships or just self-sponsored programs? Majority of the universities we work with are self-sponsored, but they give scholarships in terms of waivers and discounts. So the other scholarships are usually external and merit-based.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you. I think we have answered. There was one more question.
Yes.
I have Evans. Evans says he's watching from Turkana University College. He's asking on text, what about the PhD and master's students? Maybe you can mention something about PhD and master's students.
I believe master students are actually more privileged, because of first of all, the course is a bit shorter. This means that once they finish, it's easy for them maybe now to access the job opportunities over there. So we also help them. We assist them with the application process and generally everything. PhD students, generally majority of the PhD programs require students to have do a research, or rather write a proposal first of all, do a research paper, also go to the university's maybe website or contact the university directly, talk to the professors, send the proposal to them. If the professors approves of it, then that's when a student can go ahead and make application for a PhD program. So generally, first of all, they have to go through that step. So once the professor approves their proposal, then they can come back for the assistance of the application process.
Wow, thank you very much. I think we are done with the questions. Now, what do you tell students, parents, those who have done their Form 4 and they are looking forward to study out of the country? What could be your advice at this point?
My advice will be, these countries are first world countries, first of all. They are well developed. The research is, they have top-notch research. They have facilities, if there are students doing medical courses, dentistry, nursing, the facilities are really good. So, just going out there to be exposed, to gain new skills that maybe we don't have, because the technology over there is also on a high level. To go there, get exposed, and maybe also come back and help, create our country and make it better is a great deal. It's something good. So I'd really encourage students to go study out there, get exposure, come with the experiences and skills from there. Because once they go there, those countries are very different. The infrastructure is on another level. So I'd really encourage them to go. And we make the process very swift for them. We facilitate basically everything, and we do not charge anything. So basically all you have to maybe to pay is your tuition fee.
Wow, there's a question asked for the Form 4 leavers. Kindly answer this question in detail. From Health Mills, he said his name is Tony. So Tony is asking a question. Probably we can just answer that in line with the admission now going on up to the month of August, so that you can bring it into perspective.
Yeah. So he's asking, assuming you have not gone to any university, but you passed in high school, would you apply and go directly, or is it a must that you come from a recognized university? Not really, because we have a place for everyone. So if you've just done your high school, you only have your high school grades, you can come, we'll assist you, and we'll get a place for you. If you've just done a diploma, or just a certificate, you can come, we'll assist you, and we'll take you to a university now where you can do your bachelor's or you can do your master's.
Wow. Thank you very much for that discussion, Kate. We really appreciate your coming, and we encourage those who completed their Form 4, those who apply and come. Those who have their own scholarships and they need to get information about going, you'd also be able to facilitate and ensure they are able to be connected. I know that's part of your work. And thank you very much for the work you are doing at at Uniserv. It's really helping many students. So going forward, we could be having sessions. We'll have sessions with other students and looking at other countries. Before we exit this one, we'll ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also go through the videos to check what other opportunities are available for students. Between now and the month of August, we'll be having a session with Uniserv on studying abroad and focusing on different countries. So come one, come all, invite your friends. Let's come and learn. Should you have a question, I've also shared a form. Fill there. Should you have a question, you can also write to us at info@corporatecareeracademy.com. You can also send a text message via WhatsApp at 011-445250. Through that one, you'll be able to reach us, and then we can be able to get the questions answered from Uniserv. So, Uniserv, thank you very much for coming, and we look forward to the next session and next speaker, focusing on a different country, focusing on different experiences, and again, bringing in alumni to share their experience with how they have been able to learn out of the country. For those who are watching us, this is Corporate Career Academy, an initiative to support students, professionals, lecturers, and all those who want to pursue their academic programs, those who want to do business, to learn and get tips on how to be effective in whatever they are doing. We are partnering with Uniserv Education to offer you the skills and information about studying abroad so that you cannot be left behind when opportunities are coming. Thank you very much. I've been your host, Livingston Makori, and Kate from Uniserv. We really appreciate your coming and look forward to the next session. Should you have more questions, kindly write to us, info@corporatecareeracademy.com, or send to our message as we have indicated. Thank you very much, Kate, and may you have a good time.
Yeah,